Now is Tara Mahler, Senior Policy Advisor for the Counter-Extremism Project and also a former CIA military analyst. Tara, with a welcome to you. Are you surprised by Donald Trump's response?
I am a bit surprised. You know, the president's daily brief is something that every president, Republican and Democrat, typically get every morning. Sometimes that's verbally given by their PDB briefer from the intelligence community, and sometimes they choose to read the documents that compose the president's daily brief. So it is a bit surprising because this does not really fall within precedent of how presidents usually receive and want to receive the briefing every day.
Word has it his vice president, Mike Pence, is getting them. Does that suffice?
Well, you know, it's really important that the president is up to speed on these matters. It's one thing to delegate a lot of things in terms of policy, and it's one thing to delegate things in terms of your staff, but the president's daily brief is called the president's daily brief for a reason. So while I think it is great that Mike Pence is getting it, usually vice presidents get these briefings under normal circumstances, and typically the president does get these briefings as well. So usually both of them would be receiving these briefings on a daily basis with a briefer from the intelligence community.
How unusual is it for a president to have this kind of a rift with the intelligence community?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. I mean, I don't want to sort of say that there's a rift just yet. It is early. He hasn't taken office yet. But I think to come out with a statement like this ahead of taking office does create some tension. You've seen intelligence officials express some concern. There are a lot of people behind the president's daily brief. This is not a one-page memo. This is something the entire intelligence community works on 24 hours, 7 days a week. You have briefers up early before dawn preparing, the package of information that covers countries around the world. It covers global threats. It covers individuals, it covers terrorism, it covers China, it covers Russia. So this is something that's a huge effort that the intelligence apparatus is set up to do. And to sort of dismiss it or sort of, diminish its importance, I could see why the intelligence community might be upset. Obviously, I'm formerly in the intelligence community, but I think this would make any community upset when that much work and effort goes into what's one of the, I'd argue, the best intelligence products, in the world.
Well, interestingly, in their initial response to these reports of the CIA's assessment, Trump's team released a statement saying, quote, these are the same people that said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Given your description there of these people and their integrity and working 24/7 on these briefings and the information, how do you think that remark makes people there feel?
Sure, and I'm not going to sit here and say that intelligence is a perfect science. It's more of an art than a science. Just like in any field or profession, it's hard to have it be right 100% certainty all the time, and mistakes are made. But historically, if you look at the work of our intelligence community, if you look at the security of our country every single day, the types of security incidents we don't see, the dogs that don't bark, as we call them, the incidents that don't occur, that's because of the work of our law enforcement and the intelligence community. So sure, there have been mistakes, and sure, the intelligence failure cited by the Trump transition team, it was a big mistake in our nation's history, but I don't think that should be used to dismiss the work of the entire intelligence community.
And can you tell me just briefly how much they change day to day, these intelligence briefings?
Sure. So every day there's a new briefing, and there's usually new information. It doesn't necessarily need to be something groundbreaking. In some cases, it's responses to the president or senior officials' questions or follow-up. And in some cases, there is new information, and it's not, predictable day to day how much is going to be new or groundbreaking. But every single day, there's new information in that briefing book. There's new topics covered, there's new countries covered, or in the same country, there might be developments. I'm just making up an example off the top of my head, but if you have an ongoing operation, for example, in Mosul or Raqqa, something ongoing and current, you want to be up to speed on that on a day-to-day, regular basis.
Okay. Tara Mahler, thank you so much for weighing in. Appreciate your insights very much.
Thanks for having me.